Welcome back, class. On today's episode of the podcast, we are asking the big questions. What the heck is K-pop? What's harder, fighting demons or performing on stage? Where is Mr. Richardson? Mr. McDonald and Mr. G are joined by a special guest today to discuss K-pop Demon Hunters. All this and more in an extra credit K-pop Saves the World episode of the Fandalorians. Teachers by day, nerds by night. All right, so that is the bell. Class is in session. Welcome to the Fandalorians, Teachers by Day, Nerds by Night podcast. We are the #1 pop culture podcast by public school teachers. Nearly every week, we're trying our best. We bring you the latest in entertainment news, reviews, and lively debates, all with a fun teacher twist. As proud members of the Unfiltered Studios podcasting network, we mix lifelong friendship with plenty of banter and good-natured trash talking all along the way. Before we begin, you can email us at thefandaloriansmailbag@gmail.com or text us at 631-494-3632. Since we get new listeners all the time, allow me to introduce ourselves. My name is Mr. McDonald, and I am the man whose attention is divided tonight because the Yankees are playing a game, and if they lose, they're out of the playoffs. So I'm very, very, very nervous. So I'm going to do my best to give the podcast most of my attention. Now, my co-teacher today is Mr. G, who I'm sure has finished another book. Charlie, what have you read?
I have finished another book, but I wanted to throw in here, your wife in the hallway was trash talking some former students. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about the Mets."
Oh,
and it made me laugh. I was like,
wait,
oh.
So this is her fault? This is the bad
know.
karma from her trash-talking students?
I don't know. It was this morning, so we'll see. But it made me laugh. I was like, "Oh, Mrs. McDonald, you're digging on those little kids about it, huh?" She's like, "Yeah, they deserve it."
Well, it's true. That's what you get for being a Met fan, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, our other co-teacher, Mr. Richardson, has called out busy. His schedule just could not fit this in. So replacing him in Mr. Richardson's place is the closest approximation that we could get to Mr. Richardson's style, grace, and humor. Welcome back, Mr. Hewitt.
Why, thank you very much. Glad to be here. It's funny. I was listening to last week's episode, and Mr. G mentioned something having to do with the Grogu and Mandalorian trailer. And I was like, I'm going to send an email. I was like, no, why am I going to send an email? I'm just going to say it when I'm on the pod. The beast in the gladiatorial scene that you mentioned looked like Rancor, but wasn't. Mm-hmm. That is actually a Mantelian Savrip. It is one of the original beasts that were on the Jarek hollow chessboard. And that's the one that R2 used to beat Chewie.
Okay. Then I take my comment back. Then it belongs.
That's the nerdiest thing I've ever heard. Yes. I love it.
And another little fun fact, the Swole hut in that arena, that is actually Rhoda the Hutt. That is the little hutlet from the Clone Wars movie.
Wow,
he's
that
jacked
started
now.
The whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Hewitt, what number is this on the pod?
I think this might be 5.
Oh, you're in the 5 timers club now.
Wow.
Yeah, I get a little gold jacket now.
Yeah, we don't have money for a jacket. I can get you like a gold sticker. Yes, there we go.
Okay, great.
That's more of our budget range. Well, anyway, Mr. Hewitt, thank you for joining us today. I know you were especially excited to review what we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely.
All right, so we are going to start our post-observation review right after this jingle.
Please excuse the interruption. Please excuse the interruption. Can the Fandalorians please come down to the main office? The principal is ready to see you now. It's time for your post-observation review. The principal is ready to see you now. It's time for your post-observation review.
So today we are going to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters. So let me give you a little background for those who may not have heard it, and perhaps you've been living under a rock. So let's just talk about the premise. So K-pop Demon Hunters is a 2025 animated musical urban fantasy film. It centers on a K-pop girl group called Huntrix, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, who leave a double life demon hunting. Their antagonists are a rival K-pop boy group. What is it? The Saja Boys? Is that how you say it?
Saja Boys.
Saja Boys, whose members are secretly demons. The core conflict weaves together supernatural mythology, pop music, identity, shame, and self-acceptance, all in addition to this giant spectacle and actions. Now, we spoke previously how this started. The concept was developed by writer-director Maggie Kang. She wanted to write a story about her Korean heritage, mythology, demonology, and K-pop culture. Sony handled the animation, but they kind of dropped the ball here. They sold this to Netflix, and Netflix has made most of the money now, and they are pretty much responsible for all the sequels as well. So Sony doesn't have control of this anymore. This is really a lot of Netflix. Let's talk about viewership and records really quickly. In the first 90 days of Netflix, K-pop Demon Hunters amassed 325 million views, becoming Netflix's most watched film ever.
There's a big fraction of that in my house.
yeah, and that's just from Mr. Hewitt. It beat Red Notice. It beat Squid Games. It was a huge hit. They even released the theatrical sing-along version, and it made nearly $20 million in the theaters as well. The same time
in only 2 days.
Yeah, seriously.
2 days.
It was one weekend. And then they also launched the soundtrack, which was just as popular. It debuted at number 8 on the Billboard 200. It was in the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 simultaneously. Their big hit was Golden. It is the first K-pop girl group, real or fake, to top the charts.
They got robbed at the MTV Music Awards.
Oh, honestly, I've never watched the MTV Movie Awards in about 25 years.
Yeah, they got robbed. Some I can't even tell you the name of the person, or I don't even know the song that won best song of the summer. But it wasn't this song. It wasn't Golden.
Yeah. This movie has been praised for a lot of things. The animation and visual style, which Mr. G, I'm sure you will have something to talk about with that. The music and the soundtrack, the voice acting, the writing and the themes, cultural representation, the humor and pop culture commentary. Even Rotten Tomatoes liked it. The New York Times called it charming, funny, and artfully punchy. And some critics, though, they saw it more than spectacle. They liked the idea of an exploration of shame, identity, and how demons are metaphors for internal struggle. So it is significantly deeper than just your typical kind of animated movie. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to start with some basic post-observation questions. As teachers, we get asked these questions all the time after an administrator comes in and looks at our lesson. So we're going to start with the first one. In general, how successful was this lesson? So this is just your general thoughts about the movie as a whole. Mr. Hewitt, we're going to start with you. What did you think of the movie?
It was surprisingly highly effective.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How did you find out about it? I feel like that has a lot to do with it as well.
My 21-year-old daughter came over one night to have a movie night with my 10-year-old and 5-year-old daughters. She said, we're going to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. I had heard of it. I knew it was a thing, but at that point, it was still a little fresh. she's like, this is good. And I'm like, oh, okay. And we sit down.
Now, hold on. Do you trust her judgment when she picks movies, or has she ever picked some clunkers?
No, she's usually pretty good.
All right, good.
Definitely pretty good. So we sit there and watch it, and it's me, my daughters, and my wife, and we're sitting there, and the movie finishes, and I look over at my wife, and I'm like, this has no business being as good as it is. And she looked at me and said, you are absolutely right.
So you seem to like it. Now, what did you like so much about it?
I loved the mix of humor. The songs were phenomenal. Underlying message was just unreal. There's so many different theories as to what it represents. The idea that represents for the LGBTQ community, or represents the awakening and being able to come out. It also, the ability to use your flaws as your strength, or at least your perceived flaws as your strength. The humor, every time you turn around, there was something else that I was just laughing hysterically about.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. So Mr. G, how about you? How successful was this lesson?
So as someone who was not the target audience, it was extremely successful for me. I thought it was a fabulous movie. I watched it with my younger son. We were sitting there going through Netflix, and he's like, let's just watch this one. And I said, sure. We put it on, and
Had he seen it before?
No, we both watched it. I fell asleep right away because it's like late at night, and I fell asleep. But I remember thinking to myself while I watched what I watched, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then I woke up in the morning, and I said, did you finish watching it? And he's like, yeah. It was good. He's like, yeah, I really liked it. So I actually ended up watching it by myself that morning. When it was done, my initial instinct is like, this is Frozen for this generation. My daughter was peak Frozen. We were the first people to see Anna and Elsa in Disney. They didn't even have a thing yet. They were just like, oh my God, this is popular. Let's throw them in a random place in Epcot.
Yeah, like a corner. Yeah.
We waited 4 hours to see them, and it was like the most magical thing ever. Then Disney on Ice, we had the DVD, we played the song, we had the outfits, we had all this stuff. And the whole time I was like, this is totally Frozen for that generation. And everything that you mentioned about what it's praised for is exactly how effective this movie was. Every single beat was on point. And what about you, Mr. McDonald, the man with no girls? How did you end up seeing this?
Well, I saw it because Charlie put in our group chat, you guys got to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. And so it happened to be, it was like a Friday that my son didn't have baseball that night. And it was 9 o'clock. Everyone was in their rooms, and my youngest son was asleep. And so I was like, all right, let's check it out.
You watched it by yourself?
I watched it by myself on a Friday night, and I loved every moment of it. But not for the reasons that you guys would think. I mean, Charlie, I feel like I've told you this story before, but for Mr. Hewitt and the folks at home, I have a weakness. One of my pop culture weaknesses is fake bands in TV shows and movies.
I totally said that this is the exact reason you would like this movie. Because Miss Pat loves fake bands.
I do. One of my favorite movies of all time is Josie and the Pussycats. But I love That Thing You Do. If anything about Almost Famous, anything about a fake band, because I also think it's super hard to make a fake pop song, because it's super hard just to make a pop song.
Yep.
But whenever because you ever watch a movie and it's about a band, and the band is supposed to be super popular, and the song they play, and you're like, this isn't a good song.
How did they get famous with that song?
Yeah, exactly. So you're just like, ugh. I had the songs from this movie just stuck in my head for a month after watching it. What was it? Golden, and you just. And it's the point where I've only seen it once, and I've watched a couple TikToks that the songs are in it and whatever. it's that weird point where I have the chorus and melody stuck in my head, but I know nothing else. And so I kind of just repeat it and it just gets stuck there. It's great.
Yeah. The toughest part is when you think you know it, and then all of a sudden you get to that one part and you're like, oh man, I got to learn that. And then you realize
Korean.
Oh, they're singing in Korean there. That's why I can't figure that.
It was weird. I thought I was like having a seizure because I'm like listening to the song and I'm like understanding the words. And then there's like a whole line that was just like, I have no clue what they just said. Is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
And
now hold
like,
on. I want to ask you guys a question. How familiar are the two of you with K-pop in general?
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, I know Gangnam
the name
Style.
BTS.
That's it. Mr. Hewitt, you've got young girls. Do they
touch? I said they're not into it, but I from teaching 5th and 6th grade, I do get a lot more of it, so I am familiar with it to a point, but not where I'd be able to say, oh, this is so and so and this is so and so, and that's but I am familiar with it. And
just by teaching I get that as well. I teach high school in the city, so I get a lot of Korean girls that they have just random picture of handsome Korean guys. And so I'm just like, let me guess, that's a K-pop guy, and they're like, that's so and so, and I was like, okay, cool. But this is a nice introduction, not just to K-pop, to us, to the world, I would argue. But anyway, let's look at this another way. One of the questions that your administrators are going to ask is, what would you do differently if you had to teach this lesson again to the same group of students?
This is when you say, I'm going to laminate it. I think the harder part is that, what would you do differently? I don't know. Not be so awesome the first time. I got nothing.
To raise the bar so high that you could never meet it?
Yeah, because to me, I feel like this is going to suffer like the Frozen 2 and Moana 2.
Yeah, look, Frozen 2 was fine. Moana was
but
fine. It just wasn't
bangers.
The first one.
You got to get those bangers, and that's the problem. Like, songs from Frozen 2 were okay. Moana 2, okay, but they did not at all touch Frozen and Moana 1. So I feel and I fear that that's going to happen with this.
It's going to be a victim of its own success.
It might be a little easier because the people behind the songs, the songwriters are all they're K-pop song manufacturers, and that's what they do. That's their bread and butter, is like, oh, we got to write a hit song, and they can just churn them out like you wouldn't believe. Frozen and Moana 2, they're not like as big in writing super popular songs. They're good at writing
movie songs. Lin-Manuel Miranda,
well, he wrote the ones for
the first Moana, but then he was busy writing the music for the Lion King prequel. So he didn't do Moana 2, and you can tell.
I mean, look, Charlie, I hear you on that one. It's one of those things that I don't know. It's you would think it's so niche that it wouldn't be as popular as it is, but I would argue that that's why it's so popular. It drops you into this K-pop world, expects you to kind of know what's going on, and you kind of figure it out. Mm-hmm. And it's the best thing where you're like, because I love when you get thrown into a world and all you want to do is find out more about this world.
Yeah. So the storytelling and the story world building, I think the story has to be clutch to that. But we'll get to there when we get to the teacher's lounge.
All right. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of the teacher's lounge. The first one is, what was their senior quote? What best lines or speech in this movie did you guys really like?
Couch, 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 couch. It just made me laugh because it's just like that they wanted a break. And then they're like, all right, we're done. We're ready.
Well, it's funny. The quote I'm going to go for is not the funniest part. I'm going to, because usually the funniest part and best quote go hand in hand. This was one of the quotes. It was by Rumi, the blue-haired girl, kind of like the main character, I would say. But it's
just purple hair.
Oh,
purple.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, it's a shade of blue, whatever. But anyway, she says, that's the funny thing about hope. No one gets to decide when you feel it. And I just really like that as an idea because, we all have children, and it's one of those things that you try to teach your kids is you don't always get to choose when you're going to feel feelings. And I like that idea that you have to kind of react to it. And so I thought that was a really, really clever way. And I was like, I got to remember that. And because it's, you can change hope with any other emotion and it still works. And so I thought that was really, really kind of interesting and really deep. And now I just put the entire podcast to a halt. Everyone's like, that's so deep.
It is. But the thing is, the movie is filled with a lot of heartfelt, inspiring dialogue as well. Even within the music itself, there is very impactful language and meaningful language all throughout the movie.
There were just so many things that had to do with like taking your power and trying to find yourself, your strength from within and how to reconcile all the issues. But I think one of the things that like just grabbed me was when Jin at the end steps in front of the main demon and she's like, wait, what are you doing? I gave you your soul back. And he's like, and he said, yeah, you did, but now I give it to you.
Ah.
And it was just like, I'm sitting there, and that's one of those moments where I'm just like, no, I'm all right.
Yeah,
I'm okay. It's fine.
Yep. My allergies.
and my 10-year-old and 5-year-old like, yeah. And my wife and I are looking at each other like, and my older daughter's just like, right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I told you it was good.
Now that we're done talking about all the deep and interesting stuff that we liked about this movie, let's stick to more of the fun stuff that we normally like. Let's go back to what Charlie was kind of talking about. So this one is never laugh until December. What was the funniest moment? Now, Charlie, you had said yours, how much you thought that was good. Absolutely. Mr. Hewitt, you have your funniest part?
Oh my goodness, there were so many, but I think the one that I was laughing the hardest, that everybody in the room was like, "Daddy, all right?" was the derpy cat.
Oh, okay.
When he just like
the mouth
floats
open.
up, and he's just standing there with that goofy look, and it's like, what is going on? And then he knocks the flower pot over.
The cattiest cat moment, yes.
And keeps trying to fix it, and it keeps falling over. And just I could not stop laughing. I thought that was so funny.
That was good. I forgot about that. I did like the cat just in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the character design of that cat, they were like, oh my God, they're going to sell 1 million of those stuffed cats because it's creepy, it's cute, it's otherworldly, it's got like the whole bag.
And that's based on the Korean mythology.
Yep.
And the cat itself, the painting that's inspired from, is a derpy. Like if you describe it being derpy, and I'm assuming that's where they got their name from, because it is a goofy looking cat like painting. And then, to me, the character derpy is much cooler looking, or is actually less derpy looking than the actual inspiration for it.
Can we talk about the name derpy for a minute? I think it's fantastic.
It's derpy.
There's nothing better than like the insults that are kind of like fun to say, and derpy is great. But anyway, now my funniest part, I had it torn between two. So what I went for is, so when Huntrix makes their grand entrance with the boy band, and they're like behind the stage and they're coming up, and it messes up, and it's a great line, and they just go, "The leather has betrayed us." And I don't know why that cracked me up. And it's just those little kind of things. I also loved when they were trying to write a diss track to the boys, and they're just like, this song sucks.
Yeah.
And I could only imagine when you are actually writing it, trying to write actively a hit song, and you're about halfway through and you're like, no, this sucks. Or are you too deep and you don't really notice that? But
out of the three, Zoe was the comic relief in it all.
Well, and the manager guy too.
Yes.
Bobby.
Bobby. And I teach elementary kids, so I'm pretty sure almost every day I hear the phrase "I see, I see," like all the time, and it makes me laugh because that part was really funny, and I think that's what my Halloween costume is going to be this year.
Oh,
The one thing that Zoe did that just really tickles me. It was when they're first watching the Saja boys dancing in front of the people, and they were like, they just made hearts disappear, like Rumi and Kira.
Hold on, Mr. Hewitt. Save this because this is going to blend into our next category.
Okay, go ahead.
So the next category is those Google slides were perfect. So let's talk about the most rewatchable moments of this movie. So continue, Mr. Hewitt, because I think that's really what you're talking about here.
Yeah. So they're like, they make the hearts appear and they throw them, and they're like, and Rumi and Kira are just like demons. But Zoe at that moment goes, magicians. And then every time, and then later on they're like, yeah, like demon. Well, that's kind of like magicians. She's trying to
get it in there, so they don't have to.
It's magicians,
hurt
right?
them. Yeah.
Well, because the heart wants what the heart wants, and so you're going to justify anything, and you're like, they're demons, but
they could be magicians.
Yeah. Oh, look, my favorite part, and it's going to be very, very cliched, is the final fight / song. Yeah. And I thought it was a really good culmination of the entire plot to that point. Charlie, you had mentioned before how the guy got his soul back and he ended up giving it to the girl.
Mr. Hewitt said that.
Oh, that was Mr. Hewitt. I forget somebody. But and it's just the song was fire as well. I mean, this song just had banger after. I mean, this entire movie, banger after banger after banger. It reminds me of Charlie. Remember when the kids were little and you would watch the movies and the TV shows, and then you'd end up listening to the music even when the kids weren't in the car.
Yeah. So
because
go on.
For me, my favorite song from Frozen was Love is an Open Door. And I would just play that on my ride home from work by myself. But I do that with this now.
Yeah. No, in terms of rewatchable, the movie is number one because it's been rewatched so many times, because the whole movie is rewatchable. Mostly because
how long is this movie?
I was going to say the length is perfect. It's one of those movies that's just the right amount.
Oh, yeah. It's an hour 36.
Yeah.
90 minutes.
Just a little over 90. Yep.
And, but to me, the fight scenes are great.
Yeah.
The action sequences are great. So their first song, Gonna Get It Done, Done, Done. This is,
yeah.
Is
now it's stuck in my head. I'm going to think of it.
Is a great action sequence when they're fighting and flying and falling out of the plane, and then they stop and she's like, no, no, no. And she points to you have to let it cool
Gotta
down.
wait 3 minutes.
And then they got, and then they fight, then they eat it really quick. And then as far as music videos, all of those songs go with music videos you watch on YouTube that are great to rewatch. So even Soda Pop, it's a catchy.
Oh
funny,
yeah, that's good.
It's to watch it, just to watch those videos as a music video. If this was back in the day with MTV, those would be on, all those songs would be on heavy rotation on the MTV. So.
Yeah, if this was TRL, that a K-pop Demon Hunter song would have been number one for about a month and a half straight.
Exactly. For sure.
All right, so what we're saying is essentially the entire movie.
Yeah, it was rewatchable.
Definitely.
It's kind of a cop. It's kind of a cop out, but I'm going to allow it because that's how good it is.
I think I've watched it 5 times between my son. I watched it with him. Then I ended up having to watch by myself. Then I watched it with my daughter. Then I think I watched it with her. Then the 3 of us watched it again. And then every time I'm in the car with my daughter, when I bring her to gymnastics, she's like, let's listen to Golden. Yeah. And then I do the funny thing. as a dad is I put it up really loud and I wait for the part when it goes, we're going up, up, and I hopefully slowly pull up to some people while it's on it, and then I start going, it's up, up, and I stop.
Come on, if you're not going to be embarrassing, you're not really a dad.
No. And then she joins in and has fun with it too. So like
enjoy it while
I feel like,
it.
You know, we've definitely, I went through all with her with Frozen, with Let It Go, and then with Golden.
Let's try to look at this a little more critically now. So for this category, it's class. What's 5 times 5? Chris, my dad has a rash on his belly. What are some things that didn't make sense? I had a hard time looking at this critically and finding any flaws.
I do. I have one flaw.
Ooh, go for it.
And it's unfortunately I've seen on TikTok one of the cut. It's not like a fully edited scene, but it's like a cut scene that they cut out.
Like a deleted scene?
Yes. And it goes into explain the mom and Rumi's mom and dad thing.
Yeah, they don't really talk about that.
And it's one of those things that you can just imply, oh, mom had a baby with a demon. Great. And then I can move on. I don't have to get in deep into it. But like the adult in me was like, oh, that's the story that I want as an adult. Like, kids don't care about that. Your 5-year-old, Mr. Hewitt, she didn't care about that. For her, she's just like, yeah, demon baby. But like to me, that's an interesting plot line. But once again, this movie wasn't necessarily for me. Like,
what I thought was super interesting as well, you just brought up a part. You're talking about little kids liking this and enjoying it. The demons weren't particularly scary.
No, they were funny.
No, they're definitely like comical.
Not that it didn't make sense, but it totally afterwards. I went on the whole deep dive of the Korean culture, and I watched every TikTok and that I could find that explained every cultural reference about this movie, and it's like jam-packed full of all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I love the fact that the derpy cat is essentially a send-up of corrupt politicians and the aristocracy, and the mockingbird that's with it is basically there to consistently make fun of it. Yeah. And
oh, I got something I didn't find and I couldn't find is why the mockingbird had 3 eyes.
I think just to be creepy.
I don't know. It was the one.
Or is it something? Because I don't want to make fun of it because we'll find out that it's like culturally significant. Yeah. And I'm like, oh,
because a lot of the stuff was the little hat was significant.
Yeah.
The down to there, the weapons that they used were significant. They had like little knots that were significant. There was a lot of
and like the name of the the Saja boys. It's such a crazy name because it means either lion or the messenger of the Grim Reaper.
Ooh, creepy.
So a lot of so it's not that I didn't understand, it didn't make sense. It had a lot of questions, and then I went and sought out those answers. So it was educational at the same time.
All right. Now that we have our critical lens on this, let's do the Mr. G. Can I go to the bathroom category? What was the slowest part, or what was the worst character? Like, where could you leave and go to the bathroom?
It was that love song that Ginu and Rumi sang. I'm like, meh, okay.
Was that the one that were on the roof?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I don't even know what song it is.
Yeah. Now, is it your problem with the scene, or is your problem with the song?
No, I had to pick one. To me, that was the low point. Even though it was a beautiful song, and it was deeply meaningful, and it had a lot of good stuff in it. I like
backtrack, Mr. G. You're like, I don't want to piss anybody off.
No, I'm just saying, it's the song that's the slow song. I liked all the action.
No, I got you.
Song.
It was so condensed to the point where it wasn't.
I don't think monotonous. There was a lot of fat on this. It was tight.
Yeah,
and that's why I liked it, because normally I'm gonna say either give me less or give me more. Because guess what? This could have been a 2-hour extravaganza where they do, Charlie, show you the romance of the mom and the demon dad, and they go a little bit deeper. But then you'd be like, you get 2 more songs that wouldn't be as good, and that would be like, yeah, that's where I would go to the bathroom. But now you don't even have to. You got to hold your pee the entire movie, but it's only 96 minutes. Let's move on to the next category. This is going to be a tough one, gentlemen. Who's your star student in class this year? Who was the best character in this movie?
As somebody that gets asked this question every day, who's my favorite? Literally, every day I get asked. So for my birthday, my daughter got me a K-pop Demon Hunter lanyard. And all the kids look at it, like, oh my God. They're like, oh, where'd you get that? And I'm like, oh, I got it for my birthday. So I like Rumi. She's the main character of it, but I liked her the best out of everyone else. But I do hear all the time that I like Zoe the best. And I'm like, why? She's like, because we have the same haircut. Things like that. I hear that a lot.
I mean, look, I had a hard time choosing between the three girls, and that's why I'm not going to choose any of them. So I'm going to tell you, my favorite character was the lead Saja boy. I forget his name.
Gino.
Yeah, because that is a character in lesser hands that's cliched and just, irredeemable. But they did a really nice job of the misdirect of, are you ready? A spoiler alert. You think that his family left and he went with them and, it was horrible. And then you find out that no, he let them leave and he stayed and it's kind of his fault. And so you're like, oh, he is kind of a bad guy.
I did like that.
Yeah, and then he has kind of the redeeming arc at the very end that, and it just shows you just because you were bad, you made a bad decision in the past, it doesn't guide every decision into the future. And he heroically sacrifices himself. And I thought it was handled really, really nicely. It was really well written.
Yeah.
It was earned, so to speak. I know Mr. Richardson always loves talking about story and whether something is really earned. I was very impressed. So, Mr. Hewitt, who's your fave?
Since you guys have chosen main characters, I'm going to go with a side character. The quack doctor that they go to.
The healer?
Yes, the healer.
Yeah.
He just hysterical.
He was played by like a guy, like his
voice. His first big role was in Lost.
Oh, it was he was Jin in Lost.
Yes.
Yeah. Daniel Day Kim. Oh, yes. Look at that. Pulled that out. Wow. Yeah. Because he has a very distinct kind of smooth voice as well. And so you're right. He was interesting. What did you like about that?
The fact that when he's trying to hold it together and he's running the show, and then he gets up to Kira and she's just like, and scares the snot out of him. That's the best.
I like how if you look at the photos on his wall, he's like a sticker.
Yeah, added to all the famous people. Absolutely. But if you noticed, all of the advice that he gave was important.
Yeah, it was spot on.
And you know what? She did need to be healed. And so you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's not a quack. And who knows? So now we have a newer category. I think we did this last time. We do it for Invincible, but this category is who needs to go sit in the corner. Is there any character here that you think is not necessary in this movie? Now, we said before, super tight 96 minutes, not a huge cast. Is there anyone you don't necessarily need?
No, but you know what? I do think that the aunt, was a bad person. She was the repress it. She was like the parents in Frozen. Repress it. Don't
shove it down.
Exactly. So
what about
she needs to be there because that's obviously
she's kind of the
creates the conflict in Rumi.
What about Bobby?
He needed to be there. He was like in it the perfect amount.
You'd think because he's voiced by Ken Young and he's by far like the biggest American star. I thought it was going to be a lot of him and he'd be like the cheesy comic relief, but no.
Yeah.
He was my first pick for my Halloween costume.
I think a couple of the extra Saja boys.
Genu, everyone other than Genu, but that's kind of what they were supposed to be.
Yeah,
it's almost
K-poppers.
Yeah, it's almost like if they had, three to match this, the three girls, because because there were times where it was like it seemed like
It would be
Zoe.
like a one-on-one.
Yeah, it seemed like Zoe wanted two of them, but then it was like Kira wanted two of them, and it just.
Well, and what would have been funny is if it was a perfect 3-for-3 matchup. So you have the two that match up immediately. You have the one girl that is in love with the other one, and then you have to have the other two that just hate each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then that's where the conflict and comedy comes in.
Yeah.
But maybe that's us just over managing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have to say that my daughters have gotten into the YouTube rabbit hole of watching these AI generated relationship things where they take this is what's going to happen to them when they get married, and this is what happens to them when they.
I'm glad I haven't seen any of that.
Oh my goodness! It's just I get mad at it. And I'm looking at my daughters. I'm like, they are no longer around. They defeated them. They're not around anymore.
Well, that actually. That ties in the category a little bit later. So let's talk about who ate my lunch. What prop or memorabilia would you want from this movie? I'll tell you. I'll go first. I want the Derpy.
I wanted Bobby's lanyard, and I got one.
Oh, there you go. Oh, wait, unless I'm allergic to it, because I'm allergic to cats. Am I allergic to demon cats? We'll find out.
Maybe not. I want one of those top hats.
I don't know if we have the jaw lines anymore to pull off a top hat, Mr. Hewitt. Oh, there it is. Okay, maybe you do. All right, I'll take
I hold my neck up. Really.
Yeah. You're like, hold on, wait.
You know, I was so freaked out because I was in the city just before school started, and me, my wife, and my two younger daughters were going to see a show, and this guy walked past us, and he was wearing the whole traditional Korean outfit with the top hat. And
did you turn and say, "Demon"?
I was like, and you know, your first thought would have been like, oh, he's cosplaying, but then it's like, oh, wait a second, I'm in the city. He's probably not cosplaying.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that. My daughter was in the city, around the same exact time. And I'm legit looking for the photo right now, and I'll show you guys. And I get sent this.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that's not one of those Times Square people. She's like, no, she was literally just walking. And we said, Rumi. And she looked at us and she said, hey, can I get a picture so I can show my dad?
That's so cool.
And
That's so funny.
it was New York Comic Con.
Oh,
so she was cosplaying.
Yeah,
I got you.
So you could have been Trevor, not unrealizing he was at the convention.
That's true. That is a possibility.
Next category is, did you make plans for next week yet? So let's talk about, let's be Sony executives, let's be Netflix executives, and try to figure out what happens the very next day. I'm assuming it's couch.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're probably very, very, very tired.
This question is hard because
but also remember, the Huntrix's reputation has been essentially ruined.
No, man, they're golden. They came back.
No,
it's restored the Hamoon.
Okay. Yeah, but no one else knows that, Charlie.
Yeah.
But they all of a sudden it goes from being dark and everyone's all, like zombified, and then it's bright and cheery and everyone's like, yeah, drugs.
But that's only people at the concert. I'm saying like random New York City kids, they see the concert and it looks like they're all breaking up and they're just like, oh, I'm looking at this not from a Demon Hunter perspective, as a pop culture band perspective.
So they're happy because they're back together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So here now, are we teaching this again next year? This is where I mentioned the problem of the songs, but my biggest issue is, where do you go from sealing the Han Moon forever? They went to the highest levels of doing it. Charlie, it's not like it was like we have to seal it for the year, 365 days, and that's gonna, give.
It's gotta be golden.
This is forever. The whole point is they got to seal it forever. So how are they going? What are they going to come up with to break the Han moon?
Yeah, I don't know if any of us know enough Korean culture. I'm sure there's something kind of above and beyond that they'll kind of incorporate, or maybe it's going to be like
a different bad guy. I don't know.
Yeah, or it's going to be Huntrix in America.
Well, they said it sealed it around. They made a comment that it was a global thing. It wasn't just localized to where they lived.
But is there any other person or way that the it could be reopened? Because remember they've said they've closed it for the Demon Hunters have closed it forever, but like 15 times.
Well, you know what? Maybe. No, they never said that they closed it forever, the other previous bands.
Oh, did they? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I did like that bit, how every generation it's a different kind of band.
More fake bands.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I was thinking is for the second one, that this is where they could actually revisit Rumi's parents.
That's where you get the flashback.
Yeah. You can go more into the story that way.
Like a prequel.
Or maybe her father isn't a Korean demon; it's like a other cultural demon. And then that I don't know. I'm just spitballing out.
She's Canadian Korean, so maybe there's Canadian demons up there,
like a Wendigo or whatever those things. Wendigo,
they're all about there somewhere. You know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. They're out there. Or maybe it's just a nice demon. I don't know.
Perhaps not all demons are bad. Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. G.
Yeah, exactly.
And we also have the live action version coming too.
Oh well, yeah. They will milk every ounce.
They're already shooting it, I believe.
Wow. Okay, good for them.
Like when the iron is hot.
All right. Let's get to the penultimate category. Can you believe she asked a question at the end of the meeting? Is there anything else that you want to discuss about this show or movie? Charlie, you seem like you got something.
Where's the merchandise?
You have it.
No, yeah, but mine was made on Etsy. Etsy. It was made on Etsy. So think about like I said, my daughter was the Frozen merchandise was everywhere in my house, and I was happy buying it. I was very happy. We bought, I don't know, 3 different dresses, how many different little dolls, how many different little things.
Excuse me. How much of Netflix's other IPs have had a lot of merchandising?
Well, Netflix has a merch section for K-pop Demon Hunters.
But you can buy merch.
You can buy the robes, the t-shirts, the cardboard cutouts, the jackets, the pajamas, the derpy hoodie, which is actually super cute. And there is 16 additional pages. So, Charlie, there is a bunch of merch out there.
Listen,
the problem is it's just not at Target yet.
Yeah, we went to Frozen on Ice. You know how much a snowflake wand was?
Oh, I know. Like you had to refinance your house.
Yeah. So just imagine how many of those Huntrix symbol wands that all the fans had. Where were those things when they had in theaters?
You don't think they're going to do K-pop Demon Hunters on Ice?
Oh, yes.
It's absolute. Or ready, K-pop Demon Hunters the musical, K-pop Demon Hunters.
They have it on Ice.
Remember when they joked about Spaceballs, but they're actually going to do that with K-pop Demon Hunters.
If they don't have toys in the pipeline for Christmas, then
it's the perfect time. Yeah, right now
they got a
sweatshop somewhere cranking out dolls.
Yeah, there's got to be. I don't know if they're going to be able to do the Star Wars gift certificate in a box thing.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like they're totally like there's so much money to be made because that's where a lot of money lies is in merchandise.
Merching, absolutely.
If they have this on Ice and my daughter says, "Hey, Dad, can we go see this?" I'll be like, "Yes, let's go. We'll get tickets."
Charlie, why do I feel like it's gonna be? Why do I feel like it's gonna be the opposite? You're gonna be like
hey,
let's
kids,
go.
Guess what? Listen, we hemmed and hawed about going to see it because they played it in Port Jeff Cinema. And our little hometown cinema.
Did you go?
Didn't go, and we all regret it now. We regret that we did not live the magic of singing.
Well, I feel like it would be really loud. Actually, it would probably be super fun.
Yeah,
because there's nothing better than singing in a large group, because then nobody knows how bad you sing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, we saw Minecraft the movie at the height of
Chicken
the
Jockey.
mania. Oh my god! But it made it so much more fun.
Yeah, it's something communal. I agree.
So
All
I
right.
feel like I missed out.
So before we get to our final category, let's talk about how you can support the show. If you're buying or selling a home, check out the Adla Real Estate Group. Mention the Fandalorians and get up to $5,000 back at closing. That's adlarealestateteam.com. You can grab some merch, as always, at the T Public store. You can also probably get some K-pop Demon Hunter stuff there as well. But all of our proceeds go to Laney's Legacy of Hope, helping families facing pediatric cancer, and 100% goes to the cause. That's laneyslegacyofhope.org. Comic fans unite. Come check out Red Shirt Comics in downtown Port Jeff, the official comic shop of the Fandalorians. And if you are not local, support your hometown shop. Say cheese with LJ Photography. From engagements to family portraits, LJ Photography captures life's best moments, based right here on Long Island. You can follow them on Instagram at LJ_photography LI. Kanopy King Rentals. Whatever you want, they've got it. Custom vibes, stress-free setup, and bouncy castles galore. You can rule the party with Kanopy King. And lastly, check out Willow and Harlow Candle Company in Port Jeff. Hand-poured soy candle and DIY sessions full of magic and scents. You mention the Fandalorians, you get 10% off. That is willowharlow.com. Let's wrap this up. I think I pretty much know what we're all going to give here. Let's talk about our final letter grade. Mr. Hewitt, you are the guest today, so let's start with your grade.
I'm going to have to go with an A. The story aspect is just, it's up there. The comedy, the entertainment, the musicality is just top notch. I actually, when I first saw it, I was like questioning the actual abilities. I was like, is this, are they really hitting the notes that they're hitting? And I started doing research and everything, and man, the notes that they are hitting,
performers,
yes.
Oh.
EJ, who is the singing voice of Rumi, she is like hitting notes with her chest voice that other people need to switch to their head voice. And like a lot of the
real inside baseball, Mr. Hewitt. I love it.
Yeah. A lot of the, people who review singers, the voice teachers on YouTube, all of them were just like, this is the real deal right here. This is good stuff. So A for me.
All right. Mr. G.
0. No, it definitely
you forgot the 1 and 0 in front of that 0.
Yeah, no, it definitely earned every single point you can give it on the rubric. It was golden.
Oh, I see what you did there. Oh, all right. Look, I'm going to give it an A as well. And it's funny. It's one of those things that every now and again you get a movie that is so good that there really is no backlash to it. I'm on TikTok a lot because I sit on the train and do nothing while I'm on my way to and from work. And so a lot of times you'll see backlash to super, super popular things. And this is popular and nobody's really complaining about it at all. And that's really impressive. The last movie I think that was kind of like that was the first Into the Spider-Verse movie, where everybody just had nothing but good things to say. There wasn't backlash about it. Mr. G?
No, I was going to say, my son randomly keeps asking me, when's the next installment of that coming out? And I'm like,
it's going to be his senior year of high school. But it's really nice to see everybody kind of enjoying it. And, Charlie, you had said something earlier that this movie is not made for us. So the fact that you have 3 grown men singing the praises of K-pop Demon Hunters tells you how good this movie really is.
Because it really hits the thing that Mr. Richardson, talks about. The story.
Yeah.
The storytelling was phenomenal.
Well, it's rooted in history. It's rooted in Korean culture. It puts you in a world, and it makes you feel like you're in that world. And I can't stress enough. And it was super fun and super funny.
Doesn't hurt. The songs are bangers. So
and yeah, absolutely.
And it definitely hits the whole aspect of making the girl heroes real people.
And they're not, what do they call them, Mary Sue's or whatever that phrase is, because they always talk about how when you can always tell when men write women, particularly in action movies, because they're kind of overpowered and it's not this way. They're very flawed, and so it does work out nice.
And it's just like the whole when they're on the plane and they're binging their snacks. It's hysterical because like you've never seen something like that with female characters before.
Yeah, I mean they're
carbs in because of their performance.
Yeah,
they got to get their energy up.
All right, so it seems like we all effusively love this movie. That's right. I'm bringing out the vocabulary for this one. So if you sat through this entire podcast and you haven't watched this movie yet, go watch the movie. That's the highest praise I could give. Yep. But anyway, if you guys hear that sound, that is the school buses rolling up to school. So it's time to pack it up and head home. If you enjoyed today's lessons in pop culture nonsense, make sure to follow us. Instagram at fandalorians.podcast, Twitter at FandaloriansPod, TikTok at The Fandalorians Podcast. Email us at thefandaloriansmailbag@gmail.com or text us at 631-494-3632. Oh, and the Yankees just won. Excellent. Okay, good. I am Mr. McDonald with Mr. G and Mr. Hewitt today. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time on The Fandalorians. Teachers by day, nerds by night.